which does mean everyone check out DaveTestaSC's stream, because I believe he's covering Thavo versus Yomek. So if you want some of that upper bracket shenanigans, upper bracket StarCraft, he has you covered there. Also a massive shout out to Dave, because I didn't get to give him a shout out earlier, but he did resub to the Cranky Ducklings for 6 months. Thank you so much, DaveTesta, for the love, the passion, and the support you have for StarCraft.
Nice, that's awesome. But meanwhile, we do have a game here, and spawning up in the top right hand corner of this map, playing for Team Super, it is the Canadian Protoss in the red. It is TriGGeR.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Polish Protoss player himself representing Infernales Esports. It is PAPI. Oh boy, and here we are. We wanted to avoid it, but we all knew that it was coming. The PvPs are here.
It's okay. I'll take a PvP over a ZBZ. Any day.
What do you mean?
Any day.
What do you mean?
Mate, I want to see some talented players.
Excuse me? What are you trying to say? Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. So meanwhile, we do have an interesting start to this game. So TriGGeR is quite a specialist in these one gate expands. We can already see Nina actually opting for a double gas opening just with a low ground wall. So something a little bit different coming out from her, but TriGGeR already getting the Nexus up, and this does bode really well for him. He's a very strong player with this build.
Oh yeah, very strong indeed. Meanwhile, just a quick reminder, Nina's on the other side of the bracket right now.
Yeah, this is PAPI. Yeah. My bad. Yep.
I know we were talking a lot about them, but that's we're saving that for later.
Yeah, saving that for later. Yeah, PAPI is no short task for TriGGeR to overcome as well. Very strong player in his own right. So we will have to see what he has in store. Goes for the full wall here with the Stargate. So this is a nice response. Stargate typically something that you do with the one gate expand as well, but he does have quite a gas lead.
Yeah, he does have quite a gas lead. I think you were pointing out earlier as well that TriGGeR, despite the fact that PAPI did have a probe across the map, he wasn't able to delay the Nexus of TriGGeR, which was pretty insane. Like, typically we have that little bit of a dance where we have the pylon being thrown down and maybe even a cyber core as well, but TriGGeR was able to avoid all of that with a very economic opener.
Yeah, does manage to get his Nexus down completely unhindered, but I do have to wonder if this is because PAPI has something in store for him. With this much earlier Stargate, we actually haven't seen any tech thrown down for TriGGeR just yet. Just gone for his second gate so far in the main by the looks of it. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how he wants to approach this one. We do see him throwing down a third gate now.
Yeah, I mean, the probe in the main base is still live for TriGGeR, so he actually confirms the opener. He confirms the first unit coming out, the fact that there is an Oracle on the way. So TriGGeR is getting ready. He already has a shield battery done in the main base, so the first Oracle isn't going to find too much damage. And I guess he also knows that he can afford to delay. He, I believe, let me quickly check here, did in fact not see the Twilight Council from PAPI.
Yeah, but meanwhile he does have the Twilight Council of his own going down. I do like this proxy going in the top left-hand corner. I don't think PAPI's going to be going for Blink. This does look like he's going to be going for DT.
Oh yeah, Dark Shrine in the top left-hand corner. Looks like it's going to be on the horizon here for PAPI. Meanwhile, the first Oracle hasn't been able to find too much damage. There it is. Dark Shrine is thrown down.
Yeah, this is a really good read from PAPI. I'm not sure if he knew this is what's happening, but there is no detection at all on the way for TriGGeR. There's no Forge, there's no Robo, and there's no Stargate.
There is literally no way for TriGGeR to get detection at all. Maybe a little bit overconfident because his probe was in the main for so long, because he believes he knows everything that PAPI is up to. It's possible. I mean, right now he's being kept at home because of the Oracle, and right now, well, he takes a third! He's crazy! He's crazy, PAPI!
Yeah, this is one of the things that we see with PvP at such a high level. It becomes sort of this poker game where you're comparing the hands, you're comparing all the different units that you can make and the different options for tech that you can go into. We do usually see the DT pulled out at some point or another, but it's such a timing-based thing, and TriGGeR looks like he has a little bit of a misread on the situation.
Yeah, he does have a robo on the way now, but the DT, the Dark Shrine, is about to finish up. And again, this is only being powered by one pylon, so we have options here for PAPI. He can just go straight for the mineral lines and kill workers, or he can just go straight for the robo, get a kill. Actually, a forge on the way as well. Okay, so multiple forms of detection. I don't know if it's going to be enough though.
Yeah, his DTs are warping in right now, and they are at a closer pylon as well, so they're going to be going straight in. Looks like there's no block at the natural either, so if he can get these DTs one into every mineral line... Oh, and he's just going to go straight for the pylon, powering the robo.
Yeah, the robo is going to be depowered. He goes straight for the robo after this, but there is going to be that forge, so he can throw down some cannons. Once that finishes up, we do have a stasis trap, but the oracle goes down.
Yeah, it's just going to target down this robo. The DPS of the DTs is crazy. It takes this out so quickly, and he is going to go after the probes now, sending one into the third, but really nice job with the stalkers here, blocking off his main. I love this.
Yeah, there's so much HP here. Even with the blink trigger, his main base is perfectly safe. Meanwhile, we have cannons on the way at the third, so these DTs aren't going to end the game, but suddenly, oh my god, now we have 2 more DTs, 4 in total.
Yeah, but meanwhile, we do have the cannon finishing up here, so if he can trap these DTs as well, he's going to be taking out every single one of them.
Oh, he's trying to body block the DTs, and there we go, we have the overcharge. The cannon is enough to take down 2 DTs in the end, but there's still no detection at the natural, and there's a little bit of tech here as well.
Yeah, but beautiful handling of a very difficult situation by TriGGeR. Does manage to buy himself enough time to get that cannon up, and with the stalkers he says, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me.
Exactly, he's going for a massive counterattack. I love this to try and punish the third base here of PAPI, because TriGGeR is going to lose his natural with all these DTs. Could even lose his cyber core, which would be insane. Meanwhile, across the map, okay, but TriGGeR, he does have an equal, actually both players have blink, and +1 is still on the way for TriGGeR. Oh.
Yeah, but meanwhile, I think just at the end there, it looks like PAPI committed with 5 DTs and managed to DPS down the cannon at the third, and TriGGeR has to call GG.
GG. It was a great, like, kind of reaction from TriGGeR to try and the crisis management, I should say, was great from TriGGeR. But even then, like, his robo was still so late and his forge was still so late as well. Like, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, considering the situation, he did a really good job handling that, but in the end, there's only so much you can do. He did have the short end of the stick when it came to the builds. Pretty much as bad as things could have gone.
Oh, yeah, yeah. As bad as it could have gone. The hyper greed from TriGGeR gets punished. And now we get into game number 2. Again, a very nice early lead here in this series for PAPI. As a reminder, this semifinals is a best of 3. Boy, so this could be the final game.
Yeah, we are potentially going to be seeing who goes through to the grand final in this game. So PAPI with the match point going into our next map, which is Inside and Out.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, I did get confirmation from DaveTesta. He did say that, yes, we are good to cover this series, as he does have the upper series instead. So, yeah, we are good. Splitting up and covering everything.
Lovely. And here we are with the down 1-0 going into this next match, but definitely not out, being such a strong player as he is. This is Team Super's TriGGeR.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Polish Protoss player himself, representing Infernales Esports, and up 1-0 in this best of 3 semifinals match. It is PAPI.
For some reason, I'm thinking of this dumb song that we had when we were in school, the Purple People Eater. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Okay. I think it's real. I'm pretty sure this isn't some weird dream that I had. But we do have PAPI, the Purple Protoss People Eater.
What is the Purple People Eater?
The Purple Protoss People Eater. There's a song. There was a song that we had in primary school about the Purple People Eater. It's real.
I'm looking this up. The Purple People Eater is a novelty song. And it was #1 in the Billboard charts from 1958.
Oh my goodness.
What? 1958? What kind of school did you go to?
Yeah, this is something you don't know about me, but I actually went to school in 1958. And we had to watch out for them purple people eaters. They're a menace, Papi.
Yeah, until you got rid of them.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that.
The cousins got involved, mate.
Mate, we'd like to move on from that dark time in our past.
Oh my god.
We did what we had to do.
Only in Australia, mate. Only in Australia. Meanwhile, the openers this time are much more standard here. I say standard. Once again, TriGGeR does get his natural base on location. It doesn't get denied. It doesn't get blocked by PAPI. And PAPI's going for the exact same response. Once again, going for the full Warlock.
Yeah, but this time, TriGGeR actually getting his Starport down at almost exactly the same time. So this is something that I notice all the time when I'm casting his games. He seems to just be ahead for no reason that I can understand. He just seems to understand these 1-gate openings, which are very technical openings, so well.
Yeah, the max packs of NA, mate. He just somehow gets ahead economically. This time he's not going to be hyper greedy, and he goes for a much more standard timing with this Stargate. And both players have scattered each other. Both players know about their Stargate openers, and both players are going for Phoenixes.
Yeah, PAPI even using the Adept Scout just to scout the Phoenix. Does get the Adept up into the main as well, taking out 3 probes. So nice little bit of damage there. And knowing that he sees that Phoenix, he will be aware of what kind of game they're going into, and he can, if he chooses to, opt into the Phoenix Wars.
Yeah, we'll see who flinches first and who goes for a second Stargate. Right now, mass Phoenixes are all we're seeing. It's been a while since I've seen Phoenix Wars. It used to be a lot more commonplace, especially in Heart of the Swarm. It was a dark time in PvP.
Yeah, I will say Phoenix Wars are terrible. It's really bad to watch.
Oh god, it's even worse than like Muta v Muta, because like Phoenix is like, you just run them into each other, you know, like you got that there.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I will say, very interestingly, it looks like TriGGeR is actually killing his Stargate to get out. And PAPI's kind of jumped the gun here on the Phoenix Wars, going for a second Stargate already, committing very hard into Phoenix, but TriGGeR is only going to make the 2, and yeah, it does look like PAPI here. He does see that the Stargate's getting killed, immediately cancels his second Stargate and throws down a Twilight instead. But
beautiful.
He is quite behind on the tech now.
Yeah, beautiful reaction, but as you said, he is behind. The Twilight Council already finishing up, Robo already on the way here for TriGGeR, so tech-wise, he's ahead. But what PAPI lacks in tech, he makes up for in his own Phoenixes. He was able to reset or shut down the Phoenix count of TriGGeR, so we'll see if he can make use of them and try and deal some economic damage.
Yeah, I'm worried there's a little bit of indecisiveness coming out from him, though. We did see he had a third Phoenix most of the way finished, but he did cancel that, and he is now killing his own Stargate to get himself out. So the 2 Phoenix are a lot less of a threat than something like 3, 4, or 5. That being said, he does manage to get a few more probes for his troubles.
Yeah, 3 of the gas mining probes go down. TriGGeR hasn't resumed mining gas either. Okay, there we go. He's rallying back into it. So yeah, you know, he's still able to get something for his troubles. PAPI surprisingly ahead in the workers, I guess because of all that economic damage. But now TriGGeR is looking to move out. There is going to be a window here where he will have blink over his opponent. Only a couple seconds window though.
Yeah, he does have a small blink advantage, and he will be cancelling this third that PAPI was attempting to take. PAPI also going up to quite a high gate count here, so he will have enough to defend, but TriGGeR can use this if he wants to get himself the economic advantage. We do see PAPI throwing down a Forge as well, just looking forward further into the game.
Yeah, instead we have a War Prism. There we go. TriGGeR is expanding and taking his third base. This does get scouted by PAPI, so PAPI knows there's no weird 2-base all-in or anything like that. TriGGeR is just looking to posture and maintain control of that third base of PAPI.
Yeah, and we do have the Blink finishing up for him as well, but this is a very healthy unit count coming out from PAPI. He did make the extra gateways, made the extra units just to keep himself safe, so I do think they'll be cancelling each other out, and TriGGeR will have that slight lead on the economy.
Exactly. Meanwhile, both phases still survive here for PAPI, so they can still continue to gain some value here for him. Is going to be a little bit later, a little bit behind when it comes to his own third base timing, but makes up for that with the faster +1.
Yeah, it does have the faster +1. TriGGeR finishing up his forge as well, so he won't be too far behind on that count, but I do think the pressure is on PAPI to get some damage done, and he's going for a bit of the same strategy that got him the lead in that last game.
Oh,
it is the DT Shrine.
Interesting. Dark Shrine is on the way. There's going to be a bit of a different dynamic as TriGGeR already has a Robo and PAPI is aware of that, but he can still try and find some damage regardless. Meanwhile, TriGGeR is here across the map, still in his face of his opponent, has the Prism so he can reinforce on the map, but is going to lose a couple of Stalkers here.
Yeah, nice trades coming out there on the side of PAPI. We do see as well TriGGeR going into charge himself, so he will have a little bit of a timing there if he can deal well with the DTs to get some damage with his charge. And he is, of course, ahead on the base count with his third, starting to get mining now.
Yeah, the third is basically fully saturated, at least when it comes to those minerals. He has 2 observers on the map, by the way, 1 at home and 1 across. So yeah, like, PAPI has to be really careful with how he utilizes these DTs. They can still deal damage, just because there is detection doesn't mean that there's no way to get economic damage done, or maybe even use it in that main army as TriGGeR just takes a 4th.
Yeah, TriGGeR takes a 4th, scouted as well by PAPI, so he will know what's going on, and whooping in 5 DTs, so it does look like he's going to be going for a very aggressive timing here, potentially causing a little bit of distraction with his army as he hits with the DTs. But yeah.
3 of the DTs in the War Prism may be looking to go into the main base at the same time. DTs are being split up here, want to go, I imagine, towards the 4th and 5th base, sorry, 3rd and 4th base. And yeah, where is the detection for TriGGeR? Both across the map, so he may be forced to recall.
Yeah, good job there circumventing the detection. Does posture with these Stalkers as well, just trying to force the army to commit to certain locations, but it does look like TriGGeR saw that blur. He is sending some Stalkers up into the main.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of workers are falling. Here we go. We have a recall of an observer all the way towards the 3rd base location, so he will protect the 3rd, but at the same time, the main army hits the 4th.
Yeah, beautiful set play coming out here from PAPI, just dragging TriGGeR every way, this way and that way. Does take out the 4th, does distract the army enough as well to get himself out, and he's getting so much damage still with these DTs, 24, 25, coming up to 30 probes going down.
Oh my god, no, there's still DTs in the main base, 30 workers in total. We have a recall to save, we'll try and save this Archon, and now the onus is on TriGGeR. He's down to half of the probe count, he's down a base as well. He doesn't even get the Prism, which means, like, if he leaves, then he's under threat of just being counterattacked once again by DTs.
Yeah, this Prism, very important for keeping that threat up, as he just said. Meanwhile, TriGGeR does have quite an impressive Stalker count here, so I do think he will be needing to look for some kind of attack as he starts to get his 4th up.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what he decides to do here. Is he going to stay at home and just restructure and regain control of his own economic position, or is he going to go for an all-in? Because as you were saying, he actually, like, his Stalker count, we've got 32 to 18. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah, quite a healthy lead, but we do see some Immortals coming out as well, just to deal with that on the side of PAPI. We do see extra gates going down, we see the +2, we see the charge, so it does look like he's setting a timer, and 3 more DTs being walked in, 4 more DTs being walked in. He's going to put on more pressure here.
Yeah, exactly. DTs are going to be, once again, just checking that 4th base location, making sure that it doesn't get up and running, making sure that TriGGeR is still only stuck on 3 bases. TriGGeR being forced to throw down cannons here at his 3rd. Cannons in the main, I'm sure, soon as well. Oh boy, and TriGGeR is even supply blocked.
Yeah, supply blocks losing that pylon there, and this army that PAPI's beginning to assemble is starting to look very formidable. Even has the token DT in there. I do believe that'll be formed into an Archon, but he's getting up the Archon count, getting up the Immortal count, even getting the charge lots on the way, and with his 4th base up and mining, there is going to come a time where his army will just be bigger than TriGGeR's.
Yeah, I do like what TriGGeR is doing. He's trying to get into Disruptors, and Disruptors are definitely a way to come back into this game, but he only has 1, and the army is already here in his face. Like, PAPI is not giving him time.
Yeah, the army is here, and one thing that I failed to notice as well, there's a significant lead on the 2-2, so despite TriGGeR's +1 attack being ahead, The +2 attack is way ahead for PAPI, probably caused by all the distraction with the DTs.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, the first Nova goes off. It does connect with one Archon, but it doesn't even kill it. And again, one Disruptor is all we have. But the revelation of that one Disruptor, it may just force PAPI to back off and respect him a little bit too much. We only have one, so we don't have another Nova remaining.
Yeah, a little bit dangerous forcing himself through this choke here, but I think PAPI will be happy just to take out that fourth and just rotate around. The other fourth being taken by TriGGeR as well. If PAPI notices this, he will put TriGGeR into a very, very difficult position, but a nice Nova.
Yeah, very nice Nova. We have a second Disruptor on the way. Nice target fire. One Disruptor goes down, but we have another to replace it. PAPI, he hasn't quite noticed that fourth base yet. He just dives on and he gets the Disruptor.
Yeah, dives straight on top of this. The battery overcharge is forced out. PAPI very wisely backing off, respecting that, even though he does have the more advanced army. We'll just wait for that to run out before he goes back in.
Exactly, as he tries to rotate around once again. TriGGeR doing so much with so little despite being far down in the supply. He's been able to honestly trade relatively well. Oh, but that fourth base has finally been spotted.
Yeah, the fourth base, a little bit of a sneaky location there, is spotted by the rotation of PAPI. Does manage to take that out, and TriGGeR has been kept off of fourth base for so long now. He's in a very difficult situation. The one thing that he does have going for him, he's gone for a very high Stalker count against a higher Archon count. PAPI may be anticipating a higher amount of Zealots, but it does look like there's just too much here.
Yeah, exactly. We just haven't seen a good Nova other than that one on those Zealots. We have a couple more going off, but the target fire is insane. Does find a connection though, but what about the Archons and what about the Immortals?
Yeah, very good connection there, but these Immortals are just going to chunk through the pure Stalker, and as much as TriGGeR is showing us some fantastic micro here, there's just nowhere left to run.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to warp in a couple of Zealots in the face of those Immortals. He gets a massive surround on them, which is great. It looks like he may be able to hold on. Oh, it's going to be so close. He will get the Immortals.
Yeah, beautiful play there with his tools, taking out exactly what he needs to use the Stalkers to take out all the Archons, and then with all the Archons gone, warps in the Zealots to take care of the Immortals. So the fight went brilliantly for TriGGeR there. Very nice micro and good awareness.
Oh, but DTs are morphed in. There is detections that the DTs are going to get cleaned up, but once again, TriGGeR, he's just been losing too many workers here. DTs are running rampant in the natural and the main base. TriGGeR was just distracted, as was I, with the main fights. And PAPI, even though he wasn't able to just completely kill him there, like he's crippled him.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a wasteful fight, but it doesn't matter at all. He's far enough ahead that he can do that. He can force these trades. He can force it to be a bit of a scrappy game, and there really isn't much that TriGGeR can do to deal with this. He's forced into an all-in position with the smaller army.
Yeah, he's all in and he's only working with 6 Stalkers. Unfortunately, I mean, they're going to do whatever they can. Nova ends up missing those ZTs. Third base ends up falling, and PAPI is going to break into the natural. Even utilize that one Phoenix from earlier. Oh my god.
Yeah, very nice there to see the Phoenix. Does take a pretty big disruptor shot, but at this point it does not matter. TriGGeR, realizing his tournament life is on the line, is going to fight down to the very last, but GG is called.
GG, well played. PAPI takes the series 2-0. The first game was, you know, a little bit of like a quote-unquote build order win, but game number 2 was much more solid, was much more back and forth, and he really did take it to TriGGeR.
Yeah, command your game there. And I was talking earlier about TriGGeR versus Nina, but it looks like instead we're going to be seeing PAPI going through. Definitely not one to be overlooked. A very strong Protoss player, as he's proved.
Yeah, definitely. I'm shocked because we were all like praising TriGGeR coming into this series, coming into this tournament, but his tournament run ends here. My condolences. He's still an amazing player, but PAPI just on fire on a new team, playing in Sparkling Tuna Cup, coming out here in the Dave Testa Friday night fight. Yeah, looking solid.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's because you played in Sparkling Tuna Cup. So, if you want to do well in tournaments, people, you have to play in Sparkling Tuna Cup. That's how it works.
I don't make up the rules. You know, it's just facts and logic.
Yeah. No, we just show up. We cast the games. We don't make the rules, but we make observations. And you know, sometimes you can just tell.
Yeah. You just know. You know.
He's got the glow.
He's got
that post-Sparkling Tuna glow.
Ay. Regardless, GG. Congratulations to PAPI, moves on to the grand finals, and he's getting ready to face another Protoss opponent. Over on the other stream, on the main stream on DaveTestaSC's channel, he was covering Thavo versus Yomek, and Yomek did come out on top 2-0, and there's another PvP going on.